Now that we are satisfied with the placement of the board, we will set up some shortcuts to route the board quickly and efficiently. If you follow the shortcuts I'm about to show you, you will be able to finish the board in a timely manner, quickly and easily. The next thing we want to do is find our environment file, and the environment file is found in our startup directory. So we go to our folders, and I know that our startup directory is in C, and I also know it's under cadence. So it's C, cadence, and we might have several different versions of your Allegro going. We are using the SPB 17.4, and then we go to share, and then we go to PCB, and then we find the text right here, and then ENV. Now the ENV is the actual file. Now I'm opening up a text editor, which is Ultra Edit, and text is where the file is going to be, which is ENV. And let's take a look at that. Double click it. And you can see there's lots of stuff here. Anything with a hashtag is just for looking at. It'll give you a little information on the files. What we're looking for is the aliases. And what we want to do is let's take all the aliases with the F numbers in it, just to start off. And we'll go down to about here, and we'll do a Control-C. And that'll grab them, and then we'll just copy them to our local ENV. So we get a file, open, and we're in the text. We just have to find ENV under local right here, and we'll open that up. Just do a Control-V, and basically what that did is put in all the function keys that we wanted. And what we want to change is on F5, we want to do an add connect, and we're just going to do 3 of them. So we do an add connect, just like that. On F6, we're going to do a delete. And the reason we do this is these keys are keys that we're going to be using constantly, and they're all next to each other, and this one is going to be a slide, S-L-I-D-E, and that takes care of that. So now let's save it. File, save. That's good. And then we will close it out, and we'll copy it to our working directory. So I click on ENV local, and I do a Control-C. And then let's go to the working directory, which is D, all basic, 17.4, all basic, and project 2 is the directory we're working in, and I simply do a Control-V. And that takes care of that. So right now we have something called ENV under local in this working directory. And what we want to do is source it. And we want to source ENV under local. And then enter. And when you do that, if you hit an F5, we have add connect. If we hit an F6, we have delete. And if we have hit an F7, we have slide. Another important thing when you're designing a board is the ability to change layers quickly. We have a 6-layer board, which is very low layer count. Sometimes you might have 30 layers or more in certain boards. But for now, let's try alias 1 to 6. And what those are going to do is replay script L1 to L6. And I'll show you how to make those quickly and easily. The next thing we'll do is create 4 script files for routing our 4 routable layers. We want to make sure that we do have we source our env underscore local, which we have done. So now we can create our 4 scripts. And before we do that, let's take a look. And the only thing we're going to need is in the stack up on conductors, we can put our conductors on, which is fine. When we can see the pins, vias, etch, DRCs, this is all fine. And then in geometry, we want board geometry and we want outline, and that will be very helpful. We don't need anything else at this time. And you can say OK. The next thing we'll do is create our 4 script files for routing our 4 routable layers. We go to File and Script. We type in L1 and record. Then we go to Add Connect, and we want top, and the reciprocal to this should be bottom. And then we go to File, Script, and Stop. Then we type in L2 and record. We go to Add Connect, and then this one will be INT1, and the reciprocal to that will be INT2. And then we say File, Script, and Stop. And the next one is L3. We record it, Add Connect. Now we already have INT2 here, so let's just change it, otherwise it won't come up, and we want it to be INT2 and INT1. That's fine. File, Script, and Stop. And the last one, L4, record, Add Connect. L4 is bottom, reciprocal is top. File, Script, and Stop. So let's open up our env under local file. The function keys that we're going to be using mostly is F5, F6, F7, and F8 in this lesson. Also, we're going to be using our number keys 1 through 4. Remember, it's always better if you can have a mouse that has a programmable thumb button that will do an enter for you. So you press 1, enter, and it's very, very quick. The only thing we have left to make is to create an add via script, and let's do that one right now. So let's create our add via script, and to start it, you need to go into Add Connect, and then you just click on a point, and then we're going to start our script. File, Script. And this is going to be called Add Via, just like that. And we record it, and then we right click, say Add Via, and then we go to our script editor again, and we say Stop. And then we can X out of that. And say Done. We don't really need this via, so we get into delete it. Let's try it out. I'm going to hit F5, Add Connect, and then click here, press F6, and it works. And this is going to come in very handy, as you can see. It's very quick. Click, 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 and of course this is just a test. You can see the benefit of it. When you're routing a board and you're routing for hours and hours and hours, this little button is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of stress. Always work smarter, not harder. On this board I'm going to be putting in my vias on a 25 mil grid, and when I'm routing the board I'll be routing on a 5 mil grid. So I'm going to open up my environment.local and alias G5 replay G5 alias G25 replay G25. So let's make those two scripts. Oh, but before we do that, we do have to say File Save, And we also have to source it again. Source env into local. And let's start our script. This is going to be G25. Record. So we go setup grids. X 25. Y 25. OK. File script. And stop. And let's make the G5. Record it. Set up grids. And in this one, of course, we like to put 5 5s. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that'll give you a coarser dot on the 25 mil grid. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And file script and stop. Then you can X out of this. Let's go here. Let's put our grids on. And if we say G25, we can see that now we have a nice grid of 25. We can put our vias on each one. It's also easier to move your components around on a 25 mil grid if you don't need the room. And if we put G5 and an enter, now we're back to the 5 mil grid, and you can see that the darker grid is on a 25 mil grid because it's every 5. So I'm going to type in G25, enter. Now we're on a 25 mil grid. And let's escape this component here. So I'm pressing F5, click here, F4. And of course you just keep doing that for the rest of the pins. If we want F6. Okay, so now we've got this all escaped, and let's go ahead and escape these. If you have a pin on a certain layer, no matter what routine you're in, if you click on it, it'll go to that layer. So if I double click this, now I'm on the bottom layer, and I just click that, and that connection is done. Same thing here, click, double click, done.